How are you action figure enthusiasts out there? JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the new Spider-Man Far From Home Spider-Man and Stealth Suit Spider-Man figures, which are part of the newest wave of Spider-Man themed Marvel Legend figures from Hasbro. The Build-A-Figure for this wave is the Molten Man, also from the movie, and I'll be taking a look at that figure at the end of this video. Now these figures come packaged in the same style that we've been seeing with all the Marvel Legends. However, there is a slight modification with these Spider-Man figures. The boxes are done with a dark navy blue as opposed to black. Up at the top, you've got the Legend Series logo. The figures are clearly displayed in the window box packaging. Down below, you've got the Spider-Man Far From Home movie logo, since these are movie figures, and then the names of the characters. On the sides of the packaging, you've got some artwork for both characters, and then on the back of the packaging, you again have artwork, a brief bio in multiple languages. So here's a look at the regular Spider-Man, and then the Stealth Suit Spider-Man. And then down below that, we have a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete that Molten Man Build-A-Figure. All right, let's get these open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging along with their other contents. Now for the red and black Spider-Man figure, the only accessories that you get with that one is an extra pair of hands. So you can see attached to the figure, on the left hand you've got a web shooting hand, and the right you've got a grip hand, and then you've got a grip hand for the left side and a web shooting hand for the right side. So you can mix it up. You can have 2 web shooting hands, or you can have 2 grip hands, or you can have 1 of each. Now for the Stealth Suit Spider-Man figure, first of all, you get the right arm for the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. And again, I will be taking a look at the Molten Man figure at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. And besides the arm, you also get this girder, this kind of melted girder that fits into the arm. So I'll show you here, there's this little gap here, and you can just slide this piece in, and you can really kind of squeeze it in either side. So I don't know if it really matters. I think it's probably supposed to slide in that one with the thinner side, but I guess that's something that plays a part in the movie. We'll have to wait and see. And then for actual figure accessories, like with the red and black Spider-Man figure, you get an alternate pair of hands. So you get a pair of closed-fisted hands, and then you get a pair of web shooting hands. And then finally, you get 2 head sculpts with this one. So you get one with the eye lenses down, and then one with the eye lenses up. It kind of seems like they could have just made these lenses articulated so you could put them up or down on your own. But as it is, they chose to go the 2 different head sculpts to give you the 2 alternate looks. Now, because I haven't actually seen the movie yet, I don't really know what the story is behind this stealth suit. I assume this is actually a different suit and not just like his red and black suit turns all black or something. You have, you know, the different eyepieces and stuff, which are look like goggles. And I like the sculpting detail on the head sculpt. You got the line work there. It looks like a ski mask or something, you know, somebody who is trying to be stealthy would wear. And then, you know, I like the silver that they use on the actual lenses. And you've got the shinier black on the straps for the goggles, so those stand out a bit. So overall, pretty nice detailing with the head sculpt on this one. And then again, with the alternate head sculpt, it's pretty much the same thing, other than you can see the eyes, you can see some skin tone there, and then you've got the goggles that are actually flipped up. Now for the body, this doesn't seem like it's some kind of Spider-Man suit that he got that has stealth technology. It seems like maybe something he got from S.H.I.E.L.D. There's no spider markings on this at all. And the only thing that even remotely looks like Spider-Man is the mask. So you've got, looks like he's wearing this vest, and you've got this little circle that's sculpted on here on the right side. I don't know if that has any significance. And then you've got some other line work. The entire figure is black other than with the gloves, which are fingerless. And then you've got this kind of matted black and then shinier black, like on the sides, on the arms here, and down the legs and on the belt. And you've got some pouches sculpted on the belt there, which look pretty good. And then even like the boots are pretty shiny there. And you've even got some sculpting detail on the arms and on the back. So while I don't know what the significance of this suit is, how long he actually wears it in the movie, if it's something he wears a long time or just for a short period, I don't know. But for the figure itself, I think it actually comes off looking pretty cool. Now for the red and black Spider-Man figure, this seems to be the same body that they use for the Spider-Man Homecoming tech suit figure. with some minor differences. Obviously, paint applications are the biggest differences, but even with like the head sculpts, it looks like you've got different eyes on the two, and you've still got the sketched in, or I should say sculpted in webbing on the head and then throughout the body. They didn't paint it in on this figure though, it's left unpainted. And you can make out like you know you've got these black stripes on the tech suit version. You can actually still make those out in some places on this new figure. They've just painted over it. And you know, so again, as far as the actual sculpt goes, it seems to be the same, but besides the different paint colors, you've got the bright red and the black on this one. You also have things like the spider symbol on the back here is different. They sculpted a different symbol, and then same with the one on the front. It is an actual different symbol that they put on there, and I actually like the way this one looks. I like how they've used this, looks like a metallic silver with the black there, so it kind of stands out with the light. And then, you know, again, I like the white symbol on the back here as well. It stands out nicely on the black portions of the outfit. You also have some texturing on the black portions of the outfit that you didn't see on the tech suit version. So that's a little bit nice added detail. The red stripes here at the waist, you can see some red splotches down here and under his arm, and you can see where some of the black has kind of started to bleed through on those thin stripes. But overall, you know, paint applications aren't too bad on this one, and you know, I kind of dig this new outfit better than the tech suit. Okay, so the red and black Spider-Man figure, he stands right under 6 inches tall, and then the stealth suit Spider-Man figure stands exactly at 6 inches. So this stealth suit figure is actually a hair taller than the red and black one. Okay, and just for some comparisons, here's a look at the Far From Home Mysterio figure that I reviewed last week, and you can see here that Mysterio is taller than both of the Spider-Man figures. And here's a comparison of the MCU Nick Fury along with Maria Hill, both characters that will be in the Far From Home movie, and you can see both of these figures are taller than the Spider-Man ones. And then finally, here's a comparison of all the MCU Spider-Man movie figures that we've gotten for the Marvel Legend line. So this is the Spider-Man figure that we got in the box set for Civil War. Then this is the homemade suit Spider-Man from Homecoming. Then the regular suit, the tech suit from Homecoming. Then we've got our Avengers Infinity War Spider-Man figure, followed by the red and black outfit and the stealth suit from the new movie. In case if you're wondering, the unmasked Tom Holland head sculpt that we've gotten from Hasbro previously will fit on this red and black suited Spider-Man figure. And technically, the unmasked Tom Holland head will fit on the stealth suit figure as well. However, I don't think it looks as good. I think it fits or sits too high up on the neck there, so it looks a little off to me. As far as articulation goes, they're almost identical. In fact, they pretty much are identical between the two figures, so I'm only going to go over it with the stealth suit figure. And with that, you can look down about that much, and then you can look up really good, and you get a little bit of head pivot, but not too much. With the arms, you can get the arms out good there, and you've got rotation there, and you've got the butterfly joint, so you've got back and forth movement. You've got a thigh swivel, you get a double hinged elbow, so good bending there, and then you've got rotation with the hands, and you've got the hinges, so the up and down movement there. You get an ab crunch joint, so you can crunch forward about that much, and he can look back pretty good there. And then you get a waist swivel with this one. With the legs, you can do the splits that much. You can get the leg forward good, and you can do the leg back about that much. And you've got a thigh swivel. You've got a double jointed knee, so good bending there. And then you've got hinges on the feet, so up and down movement. And you do get ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so as far as these two figures go, I think, you know, basically it comes down to if you like the previous MCU Spider-Man figures that we've gotten from Hasbro, I think you'll like these. They really are not terribly different. I do like the color scheme on the red and black suit over the previous, say, tech suit. So if I had to pick one, I'd go with this new one. The stealth suit is a cool variant. It's definitely got a lot of sculpting detail to it. I don't know how important the suit will be in the movie. So, you know, I don't know how important it will be to add to your collection. But if you just like, you know, variant Spider-Man figures, I think this is one worth checking out as well. All right, so now let's take a look at the Build-A-Figure for this wave. Okay, so here's all the parts that you need to put together the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. And just to recap, the figures in the wave include Scorpion, Spider-Woman, Doppelganger Spider-Man, Hydro Man, Stealth Suit Spider-Man from the Homecoming movie along with Mysterio, and then the final figure in the wave is the red and black Spider-Man figure, but you don't actually need that one in order to complete this Build-A-Figure. Okay, now putting this thing together is pretty easy, but before I do that, I just want to show you, when you look through the insides of the torso, you can see that there is some semi-translucent plastic, and honestly, I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but you can see the orange portions on the front here seem to incorporate a semi-translucent plastic, which if you have the light shine on it just right, will probably give you a pretty cool effect. But as far as putting this together, all you want to do is you just snap the torso in, this back piece in, and there's some holes, so you want to just match it up, and once you do that, it should just press in pretty easily. Now when you're attaching the legs, make sure you're putting the left leg on the left side, which is the more deformed looking leg, and the right on the right. But you also want to make sure that you have the torso, the legs facing the correct direction, because it's kind of a deformed looking body. It's kind of hard to tell, but you want to, and this bottom piece does turn, so you want to make sure that the legs are facing forward. Your torso is facing the right direction, and then you just plug in the legs and they go in pretty easy. So the more human looking, as I said, is the right, and it just clicks into place there, and then you've got the left and it clicks into place real easy. And then you've got the arm. So again, you've got a more regular looking arm, and this one has a girder that's sticking out, but that girder is not removable. So that one you want to just plug in. And then you've got the larger, more deformed arm, and that one does have the girder that you can slide in. So you've got the little hole up here that I showed you earlier. You just slide that in, and then you just plug that one into the left side. And then finally, you've got the head here, and you want to make sure that the ball joint is sticking up, and then you just push that on. Okay, and here's a look at the figure fully assembled, and you can see it basically just looks like a big pile of molten slag, which I'm assuming is movie accurate. I really haven't seen this character in the movie or any of the trailers yet, so I don't know how accurate it is. I want to say scale-wise, it's probably a little bit off. I think he's much taller in the movie, though maybe he starts out shorter. I don't know if he ends up melting a building, which is why he has the steel girder sticking out. We'll have to wait and see. But again, he basically just looks like a big pile of molten slag. So you've got the metallic gold throughout most of the body, and then you've got the orange, which is done with a semi-translucent plastic throughout the most of the body, which does pick up the light nicely. I'll show you that in a minute. You can see like melted, dripping slag over here on this more deformed arm. The left side of the body is definitely more deformed looking than the right. The appendages and everything look more human. So I don't know why that is exactly, but again, I'm sure we'll find out when we see the movie. And I like the bright oranges they use on the head sculpt with the eyes and the mouth. You've got some yellow there on the eyes as well, so that all stands out nicely. And also the red that they use on this big steel girder that sticks out of the large arm also is nice and bright, so it looks like be something very hot to touch. This one's much darker, the smaller one that isn't removable. I guess you could also take this out and use it as a weapon. I don't know if that's something he does in the movie, but he could swing it, hold it in his hand and swing it around if he wants. We'll have to wait and see if that plays any kind of actual role in the movie. Now I've turned the lights down and have a light shining over the figure just so you can see how it shines through those orange pieces. So I definitely like that effect. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, now this figure stands right about 8 3/4 inches tall. Okay, and here's a comparison of the Far From Home red and black Spider-Man figure along with Mysterio, and you can see the Molten Man Build-A-Figure is taller. However, I have a feeling that the scale here is probably not movie accurate. Okay, so now articulation on this guy, you can turn the head to the left and the right, and he really has no down movement. He can just look straight ahead. He does have some up movement, so he can look up about that much, and you don't really get any head pivot with this one. With the arms, he can get his arm out about that much, and you can rotate the arm, though it will have a tendency when you rotate it all the way around to pop out of the joint there, so just be wary of that. You get the bicep swivel, you get the single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow that much, and then with the hands, you've got rotation, and you do have hinges, so you've got up and down movement there. Now here at the midsection, you've got a rotation here, you've got a rotation joint, and this joint has supports a lot of the weight of the figure, and it does actually come off a little bit loose, so I don't know if that's something that'll be a problem down the road, but you can rotate there and you can pivot a little bit to the left and the right, and he really has no crunch movement. He can look back a little bit, but not too much. And then you also have a waist swivel. This midsection piece is really just kind of a rubber type material, so it has some flexibility there, but you can rotate and you actually get better rotation there at the waist. You can also pivot to the left and the right, and you've got more down movement there at the waist than you do at the midsection. And then with the legs, he can do the splits about that much. You can get the leg forward about that much, and then you can get the leg back about that much. You've got a thigh swivel, you get a single hinged knee, so you can bend his knee that much, and then with the feet, you've got rotation. You actually get ankle pivot with these, which is nice, and then you do get some forward and back movement with these as well. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review of the Build-A-Figure. So I haven't actually seen this character in the movie yet. I haven't seen him in the trailers, and since I haven't seen the movie, I can't really say how accurate this figure is to how he appears in that movie. It looks like maybe he's going to, absorb some kind of building, and I'm guessing the scale is probably off with this figure, but I think he's probably supposed to be building height, so I wouldn't really expect Hasbro to give us that big of a Build-A-Figure, unfortunately. I do like the metallic gold/bronze color on him, and I like how the orange on the chest area picks up the light. I also like the bright orange that they used on the head sculpt. So even though I don't know how movie accurate this figure is, I think it'll make a unique addition to your collection. Now this figure, the wave with this figure has started to see a limited release. We'll have a full image gallery of all 3 figures at marvelousnews.com. I'll put a link to that in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video, and you can follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.